This episode of the CMS Network is brought to you by our sponsor, Blackout Coffee. If you are a coffee lover, you will love what they are selling over at Blackout Coffee. Make sure you get yourself some. The only thing woke about this company is the drinker of the coffee, because it gives you quite a jolt. I am a personal fan of the Brutal Awakening Dark Roast, but everybody's a little bit different. Make sure you get what is your favorite today. Go to blackoutcoffee.com. Use the promo code CHRIA20 to save 20% on your first order. It's that simple. So one more time, blackoutcoffee.com. That is the link, or use the full link if you're going to shop around. That is scrolling on the bottom, and get yourself some of the best coffee that is out there today. blackoutcoffee.com.
Hello, my name is Jesper. I'm from DAD, and you've tuned in on this CMS TV.
And what the fuck is going on, everybody? It is Chris Akin, and it is the special edition of the Classic Metal Show. Special because there's no Neely, I guess. Neely, of course, is out in... I'm not sure where he is. Dude, what is that noise? Is that you breathing?
What? It shouldn't
God
be.
Damn. Turn your mic down a little bit. You are fucking screaming loud. Holy fuck.
I have not touched it.
All I hear is...
All right, how are we doing?
There we go. That's better. Anyway, Neely is in... I'm not sure where he is. He's in... I know he's either in Vegas, or he's in Texas, or he's somewhere with the Dockin' Boys. Big shock there. I know he sent me video of him driving race cars and shit. So he is out doing that. But as a rare occasion these days, I figured it was time for me and John to have a drinking show, and just kind of, shoot the shit and give you guys a few hours. And I ain't gonna promise you it's gonna be till 3, but it'll be for a while. So, Jon Drake, welcome back to the co-host chair, to chair number 2, my friend.
Thanks for having me, dude. Let me know if my mic needs to be adjusted. But first and foremost, God, yes. I hate to do this right off the rip. Got to thank Steph. I laid down to take a nap about an hour and a half ago, and hit snooze a few times. And literally 2 minutes ago, she's shaking me awake. Like, aren't you supposed to be on there? I'm like, yes. I have my alarm set for 8:50. It went off once. She goes, it's 5 after 9. I'm like, ah. I jumped up, threw my hat on, and chugged a 5-hour energy and put some eye drops in, and off we go, motherfucker. So
I know. Yep. I was texting. I was like, okay, dude, this one and one more. Then I threw you another text, 2 minutes, and still nothing on the screen. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this is going to be a long fucking night if I'm doing this solo all of a sudden.
Well, I'm well rested, so that's the good thing. So there we go.
Well, there you go. Well, I am drinking tonight, which is something I have not done in a while. I've got my Miller Lite and my Pissing Razors what do you call this? Koozie?
Koozie, yep.
Pissing Razors koozie here. I'm drinking a little bit of beer. I was supposed to be doing gummies today.
Yes.
And I will tell you, I did go out to get some gummies today. I go out. There's a place in the next town over from me, Bedford. So I called the place up. I made sure they were open. And I was like, yes, I'm going to go and get me some fucking gummies, right? I go in this place. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I'm like, all right. And they're selling. When I get to the end of this, you'll understand I could have spent hundreds of dollars in this place.
Right.
Because they got all kinds of, the pot cookies, the pot energy bars, or D-energy bars, or whatever you call them.
D-energy, yes.
They've got the vape stuff. They've got straight up weed. They've got gummies. Anything you could want.
Right.
So I was like, all right. So I start talking to the guy, and I say to him, give me something that's pretty strong, but won't completely knock me on my ass. And he's like, well, what are you planning to do? Are you having a party? What are you doing? And I told him what I was doing, and he's like, okay, well, you should take these. And I was like, well, the last time I had gummies, which was a while ago,
Okay.
I was like, they didn't taste good. I want something that tastes a little better so I don't hate eating this shit. And he's like, okay, well, take these. These are sweet and sour gummies, right? And I was like, okay, then now we're talking. Now we're talking about something I can get into. So he gives me the bag of gummies. It was, I don't know what, just a little small bag. It was $18. Okay. Throw in my credit card. Sorry, sir. Cash only.
What?
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I go find an ATM machine and realize that I do not know my PIN number.
How is that possible?
Because I never use it. I never leave home. So, like, using the PIN... Dude, honestly, the last time I went to an ATM machine, probably a decade ago. I just don't use them.
But don't you have like a PIN number that is standard for everything? I mean, I
used to.
Granted, it's dumb, but I mean...
I used to, but I just recently got new bank cards because we switched banks with Pinball PA, so I was also switching banks with Akin IT.
Okay.
And apparently the new cards I did not set up with the old PIN. Believe me, I tried. I tried the old PIN and it said, nope, that ain't it. Then I tried my social. Then I tried my ex's social. I tried all the different things that I might use. None of them worked. And I was like right on the verge of it eating my card. And I was like, nah, fuck. So long story short, no gummies for Chris today. Over 18 stupid dollars.
Wow.
I was not happy because I really did play. And you talked to me earlier in the day. I had actually told you, I'm going to go get them. I'm going to go take care of this. And I went and nothing.
Wow.
So I grabbed a 12 pack of Miller Lights and that'll do.
Wow. 12 Miller Lights for you. That's wow. Slow down there, buddy. Slow down. Oh my goodness.
Demon hit it on the head. I cock blocked my own buzz.
Right.
That is so true.
Well, how about the fact that like weed is finally legal, but you had to buy it the same way you always had to do it. Cash under the table, no credit, no plastic.
Dude, how about this as a sad state of affairs for me personally? How long has weed been legal now? 2 months, 3 months?
Something like that, yeah.
This is my first time going.
Really?
This is my first time. Otherwise, I would have known it was cash only. It's one town over. You would think I would go there before I'd go to the grocery store.
Right.
You would think I would have lost 100 pounds from smoking weed at this point, but no, I just haven't gotten... I will, though, because after seeing all the goodies they got over there, yeah, I'm gonna stay stoned most of the day, especially because I hate my job. I hate... Right now, I had to pick up a lot of web work these days, and I
to make $18.
Yeah, to make $18, exactly right. But I had to pick up a bunch of web work because everything else, Pinball PA has been slow, Starving Artist has been super slow. Everything's been really slow. So I had to revert back to the one that I don't love doing, which is building websites. I mean, I'll do it. I'm good at it, but I don't love doing it. And boy, though, the thought of just being high doing it, now we're talking. Just putting on some weirdo music or something, some, mindless self-indulgence or Pink Floyd or something like that, and Dog Fashion Disco or something, just have that shit playing all day, some kind of weird fucked up music.
Right.
While I sit there going, oh yeah, fucking header graphic, laughing my ass off like a dick. This is fucking great.
Programming the site, dude. I have to admit, now that it's legal, part of me wants to like at least get a gummy or something, like just to see what happens, because so my stepdaughter, as you know, lives here and her boyfriend's with us. Yeah. And now that it's legal, like I mean, just the other day, like I'm so naive to everything. I was outside grilling and I look over and there's a Mountain Dew can sitting next to our sectional, outside on the deck. I'm like, who the hell left the pop can over there? Like, and then I was like, why the hell is there a hole in the side of this? Who would leave that here? I pick it up. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. All right. So I guess he's smoking outside. And I was like, I started thinking, I was like, wonder if I should try that again, because you actually were one of the few people that have been around. The only time I've quote unquote done drugs my entire life, my 41st birthday party. And it was, I want to see if like something that is like actually produced professionally is going to be as strong as the weed pill that I got from my best buddy Dave, because that one, as you are very aware, knocked me on my fucking ass. Dude, fell asleep like I was in a coma for 4 solid hours.
Well, you're not even telling the story right. Not only did you fall asleep, you fell asleep on your kitchen floor during a party.
Oh yes, I did.
Let's not draw it like, oh well, I went to bed and took a nap. No,
my own birthday party too. Yeah. Well, dude, this memory is so vivid for me. Like, I was outside grilling, and I had been drinking already. Go figure.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, like I'm gonna eat this weed pill, because I mean, honestly, the genesis of this was my wedding.
Right.
Like, my older brother used to be a huge pothead, dude, and he made scotchies. He made his own pot butter and shit, and made cookies and shit. And he was supposed to bring me a cookie, and I was gonna eat a pot cookie for my wedding reception and shit, and get stoned with my brother or whatever. Just once, I'm not, me, I'm not drug guy. I'll fucking drink anybody under the table, but anything with drugs,
most anybody.
Yeah, well, I have drank you under the table occasionally. It hasn't happened often, but it has happened.
I was gonna say once or twice, maybe.
Yeah, but what a badge of honor. But and so I was supposed to do it, for my wedding reception, and it didn't happen. So I'd always thought, like, man, just once I'm gonna smoke weed or do something. And I hate smoke. I hate fire, like, in front of my face. What the fuck ever. And my buddy Dave made these fucking pills. So he came over for that party and gave me one. And so, man, I will always remember this. I'm outside grilling at our old place, and I had already been drinking, and I was like, all right, I'm making burgers and shit. I eat this pill, whatever. And call my brother, and I'm like, all right, dude, I just did a weed pill, like, the compressed oil and shit like that. Like, what's going to happen? He goes, all right, well, have you been drinking? And I was like, well, you've known me my whole life. Of course I'm fucking drinking. He goes, oh, you'll be dead asleep in 90 minutes. I was like, what? That's no good. So I was like, God damn it. So I go inside, and I'm standing there in the kitchen, and I'm watching, I'm looking at my watch, checking my phone. It hits 90 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I feel fine, dude. 15 minutes later, I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Nothing.
So it was like an hour and 45. Literally 5 minutes later, I'm in mid-conversation. I'm standing at my kitchen sink, and all of a sudden, it was like flipping a light switch. I got so tired that literally, again, this is one of my most vivid memories. Internally, my brain goes, okay, you're going to sleep. If you don't lay down on the floor right the fuck now, you're going to fall asleep standing up and smash your head on the counter. And I literally laid down on the ground and was in a fucking coma. I was that tired. Oh, dude, I was done. And I remember waking up, and I'm like, oh, fuck, man, what the hell? I'm like, man, there were so many people there. I was like, I couldn't wait to do the karaoke on the PA that I had set up. And you remember my old place was just a fucking bachelor pad. I was like, I want a karaoke. I'm going to have some beers and some shots. I wake up, and there's like fucking 5 or 10 people. I'm like, where the hell is everybody? And you guys are like, dude, it's like 2:30 in the fucking morning. You have been like basically like in a medically induced coma for the last 4 hours. I was like, God damn it, I missed my own party because of fucking weed. So like,
well, and this is one time you can really fucking thank Stephanie for you not getting fucked with, because as soon as you were out, we couldn't wake you up. Like, Steph was like, help me get him to bed, and I was like trying to wake you up because I wasn't gonna pick you up.
Right.
I was like, I'll drag you if I have to, but But and it was me and Mikey, your friend Mikey, my friend Mikey, our friend.
I was going to say our friend Mikey.
Our friend Mikey.
Yep.
And we were going to do it, and then immediately Mikey and I had the same idea at the same time, and we were like, Steph, we need some fucking markers. We immediately were like, we need some fucking markers, because we were just going to fucking color you. You know, we were going to absolutely color you with every dick we could draw all over your fucking face and belly and whatever. You know, we were going to fucking totally fight. And she wouldn't give them to us. She's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to see that for the next week. And he's got to go to work. And
See, you guys are fucking lucky because, like, that is the only thing that I fucking hate. Like, I don't mind, like, messing with people when they're drunk and shit, but for some reason, here's the permanent marker on your face thing. Like, dude, you and Mikey, I would have. There would have been hell to pay for that. I would have gotten you guys back like you have like no idea how much I would have gotten you guys back. So only time I would fucking retaliate would be something like that.
Yeah, we could have shaved your eyebrows or something. That could have been good too.
See, that I would take. Honestly, that I would take because I go to work and they'd be like, what the hell happened to you? I'm like, oh man, I fell asleep at my own birthday party. They shaved my. But if I've got to go to work and there's like fucking cocks on my face and shit, I'd be like, oh, you fucks are in for it, you goddamn sons of bitches. Like,
you absolutely would be calling off on Monday and looking for some kind of fucking nail polish remover to rub on your face or some shit to get the shit off.
Imagine that call. Hey, I'm not gonna be able to make it in today. In fact, the rest of the week. Are you feeling all right? Oh no, I feel great. I just, I don't think, going into a sales call with I don't know, penises all over my goddamn left cheek looks very professional.
Literal nuts on the chin.
Right. Right. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, like I've done, man, oh man, I've done some heinous fucking shit. Like drunk, like with my buddies, like we have battles, like who can out fuck with the other one,
right?
But it's never been with the markers and stuff like that, dude. Like, I mean, just like horrible shit to each other, but never something like with a permanent marker on the face. To me, that's crossing a line. It's like, come on, man, like you could come back from like teabagging each other or whatever the fuck.
No, see, I'd rather have a marker all over my face than be teabagged.
But okay. It was a bad example, but you know what I mean? Like if you wake up like, hey man, I had my balls on your forehead, you're like, oh, you gross motherfucker. But you could still go to the grocery store the next day. You could go to work the next day. But if you've got like a fucking giant fucking wang like coming off of your forehead to your cheek or something, like drawing pictures and shit, like you can't go out, can't do things like.
I don't know. I was pretty fucking mad at you when you put a picture of your balls on my Facebook page. And I got my page and all my business pages suspended for a month.
Okay, so all right, I always feel bad laughing at that.
I don't. It's funny now, but at the time I was fucking furious.
I think the only thing that saved me from a severe beating was the fact that I honestly didn't know.
Yeah,
like because you know me. If I'd have known that would have fucked with all of your business pages.
Well, not mine either. It was like customer pages. That was just to set this up. I think this might have been the same party, actually.
It wasn't. It was a whole different time. And I will never
we
forget.
We did a lot of drinking at your place. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did. But anyway, set this up because I always feel bad laughing at it, but it's so funny. I'm so sorry, man. What a dick move.
It don't matter. I didn't lose any customers.
Thank God. Yeah.
Go ahead. You tell your piece and then I'll tell what happened.
Well, I just remember you had crashed the night.
Yeah.
And I think it was only me, you, Steph, and AJ. And we had just fucking got twisted the night before as we had an awesome night. And I woke up still drunk as I think,
we all did
too. and you were in the other room. This was at the old place where it was the small apartment, the big apartment and everything. Yeah. And you guys were in the living room and I saw your phone and I was like, ha ha ha. It'd be so funny if I just like took a picture of my nuts and set it as his profile picture on Facebook. So I'm like, okay, that's very funny. So whip out the the yam bag and take a picture, set your, profile picture.
Yeah.
Having no idea that it did it to all of your pages. And when you grabbed your phone, you're like, what the fuck? I'm like, laughing my ass off. And you're like, God damn it, you motherfucker. I'm like, what? And you were like, this goes to all of my pages and like all my professional pages. And I was like, oh, fuck, now it's not funny.
I just remember I grabbed my phone when I finally came to. And, like you always do, you just open up Facebook and see what's going on or whatever. I opened up fucking Facebook, and right there is a picture of your balls, and it says, "This account has been suspended." And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what is this? And then I start reading it, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like, I have like 30 customers, and this went out to all of them. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so dead.
Right. And again, the only thing that saved me from a beating is that you knew that I didn't know that would fuck you that bad.
Yeah.
Like, because I was like, oh God, dude, I am so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. And I wasn't even apologizing to stave off a beating. I was apologizing because I was legitimately like apologetic over like potentially fucking you out of stuff. So, like,
the funniest part about that was I went in and I deleted all the messages from all 30 or whatever business pages that I had, because I didn't want anybody to see those messages. And then I told every single one of my customers, I was like, oh, we're having a problem with the software that I use to update Facebook, and it might be a couple weeks before I can get it fixed because it's a real technical issue. And I just fucking straight up lied. I just like, oh, it's a real technical issue. And they all were like, hey, whatever, bro.
I got hacked.
Yeah, but that was about what it came off as, and I just kind of left it alone. I was like, all right, whatever. So, but yeah, dude, we have had some moments, haven't we? Jesus Christ.
Yes, we have.
Some of those days. That's the worst part, is some of them weren't even at night. The one that comes to mind for me is when it was me, you, Stephanie, and maybe Dominic. But Dom wasn't drinking when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And the night, and AJ was there too, because it was the night that we started talking about the placenta stew and whatever.
Oh God. Yeah, that was like a Monday. It was like a holiday.
But it was in the afternoon or something.
Yeah, I was grilling and we were outside in the hammocks just
we were drinking some
live episode, yeah.
We were drinking some rot gut fucking vodka straight from the bottle. I don't remember what it was. It was like Paramount something.
It had to be Paramount Cherry, because that's yeah.
But we drank like 2 gallons of it between the 4 of us. And really, that, when I say between the 4 of us, it's really between the 3 of us, because Stephanie wasn't drinking that shit. She probably just sat there and was like, these fucking idiots.
We went next door to Foster's and got her some beer. Mm-hmm. And then me and you just absolutely smashed that Paramount. And AJ had a little bit because he had to drive back home. And everything.
Right.
And then we got onto the placenta talk. And
we got into placenta stew, and we were just fucked up.
Yes, we were.
I miss those days. I don't really do that much anymore. I really don't throw down like that as much as I used to.
I don't either, man. I think the last time I did that was like, I don't know, last Saturday. It's been a while.
Last Saturday.
Dude, I have to admit, my bandmates and brother, believe me, man, my 2 guitar players, they are fucking bad influences, man. We are, holy shit, man. It can be bad. Steph and I were just talking about that today. Like back in May, it was actually Memorial Day weekend. They're big like Crown Apple or Crown Peach guys,
right?
And they brought 2 bottles, one each of Apple and Crown, dickhead, Apple and Peach, and we were there and we got set up. There's a band going on before us. There's like a support act, and so we had like an hour and a half to kill before the show, and we got in the bourbon. We call it our drummer's vehicle is the Suburban. We call it the bourbon because we like to drink and whatever. Anyway,
right? Yeah.
Anyhow, so we get in the bourbon and we're kind of hanging out, and they cracked this bottle of Crown, and I had a little bit, and our drummer has a little bit, and our bass player has a little bit, and all of a sudden, like, they start going. Well, long story short, I had a little bit, our bass player had a little bit, our drummer had a little bit. Before we hit the stage, both bottles of Crown were gone. I mean, those dudes fucking tie it on.
Right.
And it's like, and it's funny. We're talking about this. My drummer's like, how do 2 guys drink like that? I'm like, well, let me tell you a little story about me and my buddy Chris Akin. But yeah, I mean, like, dude, those guys fucking go. So, I mean, I have had weekends with them where it's like, holy Jesus, man. I mean, it is, oh, fuck, man. We, like, they're huge Van Halen guys like me. I mean, they're guitar players, so they know the technical side of things. And we do hang out. Like I'll drive to Lima and hang out. We'll all get together just to hang out to not have a show and just actually. Because, I mean, in Brother Believe Me, like the cool thing about it is like we're all best friends. Like it's awesome to be in the band. They're great players and everything, but we're actually like friends with each other. So we hang out outside of shows and whatnot. So we'll stay at my one guitar player's place, and the other guitar player drives in from Michigan. I drive from Cleveland. And goddamn, the one night we were there, they lined up a shitload of gear in my buddy's basement, and they're like, okay, we're gonna recreate the Van Halen, the balance record sound, the wet, dry, wet. I mean, there was guitar pedals and amps and cabs. We're down there, and Jesus Christ, my wife's gonna kill me if she ever hears this. But I mean, it was literally the three of us. We went through 5 bottles of Crown and like a case of beer. I mean, we were playing guitar, cranking the amps. We were watching YouTube videos, and we were like drinking Crown like it was coming out of a faucet. It was fucking ridiculous. So, at home I do not do that at all. But with the band, I have to admit, those guys are bad influences. It's like. So, and it does remind me of some of the times that you and I have had. So,
well, that's the weird thing with me these days, and for probably the last 4 or 5 years, really, I really don't drink, except if I'm with you and Steph or Kelly. That's the only time that I drink. I don't drink at home at all. I have a weird thing about drinking alone. It took me so long to stop being a fucking alcoholic, drunk, always fucking hammered at home.
Right.
You remember when I first got divorced or first broke up with Georgetta? Jesus Christ. Was there ever a time I was sober? I mean, I don't think so.
Not a lot. At least you had an excuse, though. It wasn't like I'm an alcoholic and I have to.
That's what every alcoholic says. Yeah. At least I got a reason.
Well, but in your defense, I mean, you were miserable. It was at that point, it was medicating something. It wasn't just, like fucking sitting downstairs like, hey, you know what? I got nothing to do. Like, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tie one on. Like,
it got bad though. It got to being like, first of all, I wasn't sleeping any. I know that's news, but I wasn't sleeping at all. So it would get to be like 4 a.m. or something. And I would run out of vodka and I would be fiending to get more vodka. And I would just be at home. I'd be, and I was all fucked up. I'm not sleeping. I'm trying to do this fucking yoga and I'm drunk out of my mind doing yoga and trying to work, and that ain't happening. And listening to fucking 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad by Meatloaf and crying my eyes out like a fucking faggot bitch. I mean, I was just a mess. But then, man, I knew to leave the house at exactly 9:52 because the fucking liquor store right up the street, which is an 8-minute drive from my house, would be open, and I could literally walk in as he unlocked the door.
Okay, now that's bad.
That's where I got to. I've told the story on the show before, man. Back at that time was before we had the bigger trash cans. We had the little orange thing for like bottles and stuff, like the recycle thing.
Yep.
That was just a small orange thing. And my fucking mailman used to make fun of me every single week because he'd drive by and I would always go out and get the mail and he'd be like, so you had another party, did you? Because he'd see all these fucking 7-8 empty bottles of vodka. And I was like, yeah, another party. Yes. Meanwhile, I was just, it's just me fucking hammering a bottle a day. I was drinking. And I mean, you more than anybody saw it because you really had to fucking carry me through a lot of that fucking mental bullshit. But even when me and you would fuck around and do shows or whatever, Stephanie would come over. Stephanie was always our bartender.
Yeah.
And she was always making me screwdrivers that were like 80% vodka and 20% orange juice. Not one time did I ever send it back and say, hey, can you even this out? It's like, cool, whatever, bring it. Is that all you got?
She's either the worst bartender you've ever had or the best.
I'll say the best. Big tits and strong drinks, best.
Right.
Best bartender ever.
Yep. Yeah. I remember the first time like she was doing that and like I grabbed one of your drinks and I was like, Jesus Christ, like what are you doing? And she's like, I don't know, I don't drink this shit. What the fuck do I know? I was like, oh my God.
Yeah,
like,
those were super strong, and they were a lot too. It wasn't like it was a small glass; it was those big solo cups.
Yeah, it was.
Well, when we were doing those shows together, we were drinking easily a bottle and a case.
Oh yeah,
every Saturday that Neely was running around with talking.
Oh, dude, some of those shows, like, God, I don't even fucking remember. And it's like to the point where, I mean, we were talking about this earlier. We had that one show where we got all kinds of fucked up. You did, actually.
Yeah.
It was the Jeff Hanneman when he had passed, and you were slurring. We went out after that.
Yeah,
we went out, and you were so fucked up. We went up to that place up by you, and you broke your iPhone.
Yeah.
It was like because we had stopped early, but they were still serving like 1:30, like 1 o'clock in the morning. You broke your iPhone, so we had to leave there, and then ended up at another place.
Right.
And I think it was with your sister-in-law. I think your ex-sister-in-law,
Christina.
Yeah. And then we closed that fucking place, and holy shit, man! Steph and I were like, he says he's going to be dead by 55 because his heart is scarred and all that shit. Like, I think he's going to die tonight.
Yeah, those
he
were
shit his own liver out. Like,
dude, the worst part about those were, I had this insurance on my phone, and they said, any damage, no problem, we'll replace your phone. So to me, that was a license to throw my phone around. Right. And I went through 8 of them. I literally went through 8 phones before they finally said they pulled the insurance from me.
Of course.
And they stopped insuring it, but I did. I broke 8 different, because I was always, somebody said the wrong thing at me, I'd fling my iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of my thing at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, you're not lying about the drunken show. I mean, shit, dude, the Rhonda sketch. Joe Cleon was over there that night, and you and I had our stuff, but he brought fucking. We were like, all right, I think we're good. We don't want to get too crazy, and he shows up with Jaeger on ice, and he was like, you guys can have some if you want. We were both like, okay, like fuck yeah, let's go.
The Rhonda show, I was completely annihilated. You weren't as bad. You were drunk, but you weren't as bad because you still had a conscience.
Well,
that one way past conscience.
Well, that was one that and the Hanneman one. Those were the 2 shows. Like, I knew you were going to be drinking. I actually tried to keep it in check, just in case. So you're right. I mean, like I'm like in my head, I was like, going into the show, I was like, well, if he's going to be drinking this hard, because I knew you're going to be drinking that hard, I was like,
sure.
Well, what if I have to, lead the classic metal show? And it actually happened those 2 times.
Yeah.
Like if you listen back to the segments, it's kind of like me being like the lead host guy, because you're like,
right. That's literally the only time I ever remember being slurry, ever. Because usually, even if I'm hammered, I can fake it. I faked it. That's how I faked out of DWIs a couple of times.
Right.
Yeah, I faked out of a DWI coming out of your place one night when we went and saw Y&T.
Yep.
We came out of Y&T. I dropped you off at your place, and then, of course, this was brilliant on my part. Leaving your place, 5 seconds down the road from your place is the police station.
Yeah. Yep.
So I leave your place at like 2 a.m. Go right past a cop. He stops me. Me and you drank a lot at the Y&T show.
Yeah.
We drank a good amount. So I was pretty fucked up. And cop stops me, and he's like, you had any drinks tonight? And I said, yeah, I had a couple. I was at the Y&T show down at the, I'm telling him all this. I'm fucked up. And I'm literally thinking I'm so going to jail. I was sitting there thinking I'm going to jail. And he says to me, he goes, are you drunk? And I was like, no, man, I'm fine. I'm just tired. It's been a long day. It's 2 a.m. He goes, I said, do I sound drunk? And he goes, well, your eyes look a little glassy. I said, it's 2 a.m. And he's like, yeah, all right, whatever. He's like, just slow down. He's just like, just slow down, okay? I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And off I went.
Right.
And I was like, thank God.
Those Hinckley cops, man.
Well, he had me. If he would have done a blow test on me, it would have been a 0.12 or something because I was fucked.
Yep.
I
Dude,
was
that
absolutely a
and
mess.
dude, I remember that night because I remember that specifically. I got home like, God, I am drunk because you parked at my place. You came out to my place, and then I drove us out there, and then we came back, and I was like, how is he so fucked up? I feel fine. And you would hit me up. Oh, I got popped last night. And I was like, man, I was kind of drunk, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Because it was like a 2-room situation at that show. And we would have one in that room and one in the other room. And then we saw your buddies there, and like they bought us around and we bought them around. Like, and it's one of those nights where you don't even realize it because you're like amped up to 11.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't feel it. You don't realize it. And then all of a sudden later you're like, oh God, yeah. Holy shit, I'm fucking messed up, dude. Like, that's not good. I mean, whew, man. I mean, shit, dude. I had one of those a couple weeks ago with Brother. Believe me, I drove 2.5 hours home.
Right.
Steph was just bitching me out today about it. Like, you showed up, you were fucked up. And I mean, me and the 2 guitar players, go figure, there they come again into the story. like they were just a disaster. And apparently my drummer was like, you guys shouldn't drive home. And I was like, dude, I'm fine. Like, I've got my cooler with an energy drink, a 5-hour energy, a bunch of water. Like, it's what I always do. I'm fine. Like, felt great. And I remember halfway through the drive home, I was like, what the fuck? Did like the booze just kick in or something? Like what the hell? And I get home, and Steph's never awake at that hour. But
right.
Man, she was, for some reason. She woke up because the dogs woke her up or something when I came in. She's like, you're fucking drunk off your ass. I'm like, no, I'm fine. And apparently I was not fine, but I felt fine. Like, yeah. So, yeah. That was one of those nights with Y&T. I drove us. I was fine. And you're like, dude, I got popped. I'm like, why? And like, oh, yeah, shit. We were fucked up, weren't we?
Yeah, because we had like 15 drinks.
Yeah, right. All shots, of course.
Of course.
See, that's the thing with us. Like, when you say, oh, we had 15 drinks. Like, for us, it was never, oh, we had like 10 beers, which is not great if you're going to have 10 beers in one night. But for us, it was like, it's always like fucking 10 like shots or double shots.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I mean, dude, when we go to see Landau at the Funny Stop, I mean, the first time we went, what did we say? We look at the menu and it was like, oh, you can get like a pitcher of Long Island iced tea. We both like, dude, we can get a whole pitcher of Long Island iced tea. Like, what the fuck? Like,
and we did. We got a pitcher of Long Island and a pitcher of Jack and Coke. We did. We didn't even bother with the beers that night. We had 2 pitchers of hard alcohol.
And God bless Steph, man. God, she is so hard. It doesn't work very well, but she at least tries to be our conscience. And I'll never forget. She looks at me, didn't even bother talking to you because she knew it wouldn't get anywhere because barely get anywhere with me. She goes, "Do you really need to have a pitcher of Long Island iced tea?"
Yes.
And I went, "No, we don't. What can I get you? A pitcher of Long Island iced tea, please." But she tried.
And then I'm such a dick. I'm like, Steph, you want me to get you some nachos? I'm trying to be polite.
2 Mick Ultras. Yeah, right.
I'm trying to be polite. Hey, I'll get you some nachos.
Look at Barden Muse in the chat. What is the show about tonight? Skippy immediately comes back. Nothing.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Fucking right. Yes.
It's the fucking Seinfeld off show. That's
is,
what it
man.
is. We're just gonna
It
ramble.
is.
I do have topics tonight. We'll get there, but whatever. It's the first fucking segment. It's always just a fuck around.
Right.
And Barden's gonna end up banned anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You know.
Why does he get banned? Or she?
He grinds on me all the time. He bitches and whines about everything.
About what?
Anything. My mic's too loud. I should shave the beard. I should cut my hair. I should fucking talk about this. I should do that. He's also one of your Sammy Hagar hater guys too. So.
Oh, fuck that guy. All right. Yeah. Fuck you, Barden. And by the way, since I'm on air now and these cunts can't say anything about it, fuck you, Ruben Mosqueda and Nate DeBassi and Jason Lundgren. Go fuck yourselves.
Wow.
Fucking suck my dick, you fucking assholes.
That's not nice.
Fuck them, dude. And their stupid little fucking fan page with their fucking every single meme is about Neely and Dokken and Squidward. Go fuck yourselves, you unoriginal twats. Eat a bag. Fucking cunts.
Well, the funny thing is I didn't really say shit in there, and somehow, some way they kicked me out of there. I don't know why, but for some reason I saw I wasn't seeing any posts anymore, and I was booted out of there, so... I don't know why, but whatever.
Maybe you didn't think the same Dokken joke and the same Squidward meme wasn't funny 8,428 times.
I never say anything. I don't give a shit. You know what? Bag on me, bag on Neely. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care enough to comment. That I don't do. I never am like, wait a minute here. Let me tell you what we were trying to say. I'm not that guy. It's the fucking internet. It's goddamn close to a hallucination as far as I'm concerned. It just doesn't really exist to me. They're
whores. Fuck them.
Oh,
fuck them. All right, you want to fucking challenge me, Barden? Let's go. I'll challenge your ass. Hagar versus Roth. Just bring up some fucking videos, dude. Chris, you know what you should do? You should bring up a video of Dave singing in 2024 and Sammy singing in 2024. Oh, wait, you can't because Roth ain't fucking singing because nobody wants to see his ass. And, that's right. Hagar's playing in front of 20,000 people every night. Fucking.
Yeah, but those shows suck.
What shows suck?
Those Sammy Hagar Best of Both Worlds shows or whatever they're called.
What do you mean they suck?
That's what I've heard from guys like Barden.
No, fuck that shit. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? That dude. Okay, look, I'm gonna phrase it this way. Maybe this isn't a great thing to say, but like fucking Sammy Hagar will turn 77 on October 13th. Okay, my dad would have been 77 10 days later on October 23rd. My dad died in January. Okay, and he was just destroyed.
Right,
like his body for like the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years of his life.
Right.
Sammy Hagar's out there drinking his ass off, playing for 20,000 fucking people. He sounds awesome.
Yeah, you went, right?
Oh God, it was fucking incredible. It was and I'm not just saying that as a fanboy. Even if you're not a Sammy fan, dude, the fact that the guy's again, he's going to be 77 and can still go out there and do shit like Judgment Day and 5150 and these songs with these high notes in there, dude. He fucking did a great job. He put on an energetic show. I mean, there's nothing to complain about. The Roth honks are just going to complain because it's not fucking Dave. And he's not doing his stupid sword fucking routine and everything. And it's, there's
I remember this song.
Yeah, exactly. That's the highest note he hit all night.
Well, here,
if he hit a note at all.
I'm putting the link for you, just for you, Barden. The link is in the chat. The link is on the screen. Feel free to call in and tell John why he's wrong. Feel free. Connect with your phone. You don't even have to put your face on the screen if you don't want to. Just connect with your phone and we'll put the audio and I'll let you two handle it. Look
at this guy. Who cares? 77 should be dead. The fuck?
That's the same guy, Barden.
Who cares? Drinks his ass off and bashes Eddie for drinking. Well, you know why he bashes Eddie for drinking? Because Eddie killed himself with booze and coke. That's what fucking killed him, dude. There's a difference between how Sammy drinks and how Eddie drank, dude. Eddie drank so much that he got busted. He got a DUI on a golf cart, dude. That's a problem. What Sammy does is not that. So I'm telling you,
Eddie is real. Hagar is a bitch, a woman bitch.
All right, well, look, dude, jump on the show and we will discuss.
Yeah, feel free.
And by the way, this is not me or Akin just setting you up to just yell at you. We'll have the conversation. I don't mind discussing it. That's my problem with the fucking Roth honks. They won't actually discuss it. It's just, fucking Roth rules and Sammy's a bitch. And it's like, well, then let's talk. No, they can't talk. They won't have a conversation. They're just, they want to yell at people.
Well, yeah.
Let's see here. Sammy was best in Montrose. There's Jim, of course. What's up, Jim?
Of course.
Drake, did you see Van Halen with Sharon? Yes, I did. My first Van Halen show was on the Balance tour in '95 at the Gund. It was called Gund Arena back then here in Cleveland, and I saw them multiple times on that tour, and every single Van Halen tour after I saw them at least once. And I thought the Sharon record was, but the tour was fucking great because the set list was awesome.
Tour was
Gary
pretty
could do
good.
both of it.
I enjoyed the tour.
Yep.
Here you go. Here's Dave. Here's Dave. Live. Dance the night away.
Oh Jesus! Here it comes.
Let's see if we got a career. Are you guys ready to? You want to go? Dance the
Yeah,
night
we
away
want to go.
with us. Yeah, come on, man.
You picked the perfect song because he is all over the map on this song. Like, is he aware there's a fucking melody to this song?
Dick.
Right? Here it comes. What is that?
Oh, he's good.
See, there's the problem right there. There's the problem right there. Did you hear that? When they hit the chorus, he sings it and he nails the notes. The guy can sing. He just doesn't. He's such a fucking twat. He's like, these fuckers are going to eat whatever shit sandwich I give them. Just fucking terrible. It's like, dude, if you can do it, why don't you? And every time he goes over to Eddie doesn't look at him. I'm picturing Eddie going, all right, I'm getting paid 50 grand tonight and 50 fucking 100 grand tomorrow. like he's just counting the dollars in his head to deal with this idiot.
He's like, this will fucking make my mortgage tonight. Just fucking put up with it.
Right.
I agree with Brian on this point. Why the fuck are Van Halen on Ellen?
Well, dude, you know what? It was fucking, I mean, that was the demographic at the time. A whole bunch of fucking like 50, 60-year-old moms reliving their fucking youth. And I mean, that's, I mean, shit, dude, think about it. This was, if this was 2013, then, that would have been, God, what, like 30 years after 1984. So people that were, or was it 40, whatever the fuck it was. 30 years after 1984, like these chicks are like, they're moms.
Yeah.
And they're watching mom shows. So, I thought it was a brilliant marketing strategy. The only thing that wasn't brilliant was that Dave just sounded like
Dave
ass.
showed up.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, and I talk about this with a bunch of my Van Halen buddies and stuff. Like, if you look up shows from that last tour, like the one I want to say it's at Red Rocks. And like a storm was blowing in, like the amps all have like plastic on them and shit like that, but the band played, and Dave couldn't move around because it was like there were storms and wind and shit like that. So he's basically kind of standing in one place, and he sounds good. Like he had to stand there and fucking sing, and he sounded fine.
Yeah.
So the rest
Barden,
of that shit,
hold on, John, for one second. There is no phone number tonight, Barden. You got to use the link. Use your smartphone and connect to that link. If you wanna be on the show.
Yep. Yeah, Barden. Yeah, use the link, man.
Use the link. Come on.
Yep.
Put it
Drake.
in the chat room again.
Would you have preferred a Van Halen Sharon 2.0 than Roth's Return?
Yes.
You know what, dude? This is hard for me to say. I think I would take Roth's Return.
Oh.
Only because I, God, I hate to bring other people in. It's instead of being selfish, dude. Everyone wanted to see Roth, so let's get those songs out there. We had all the Sammy songs and everything, and the Sharon thing, like it had. I mean, that record got kind of weird, and we now know that basically Eddie played. That was an Eddie Van Halen solo record. He played the drums on the record. He played the bass on the record. I mean, the Roth thing, at least it kept the band going for another, almost decade.
All right.
So, I mean, the Sharon thing would have damn near killed him.
Right.
I think.
All right, here's Barden. Here we go. Barden.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, we hear you.
All right, cool. Well, first of all, I want to start off saying I think you're a cool guy. You sound very cool. So I'm hoping we can have like a very cool conversation that's not like, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Fuck you, bitch. Get on camera. No.
I'm great. Listen, we're all fucking drinking. I got vodka here. We're all drinking, and I'm good right now.
Okay.
Let's do this. John, start.
Right,
we're going to have a very healthy debate, and I'm going to win this motherfucker. So tell me, get rid of Roth. Tell me why this Hagar thing is worth your while?
Because you're hearing songs that have not been played in a couple decades. Some of them are deep cuts that Van Halen actually never played, even with Eddie and Alex and Mikey. And people want to hear that material. I mean, it's clear that people want to hear it because, I mean, they're not just doing like, 2,000, 3,000 seaters. The guy's playing 20,000 to 20,000 people for 30 dates and stuff like that. People want to hear this shit, and it sounds good. Sammy can still pull it off. It's exactly what he said. He said people want to hear it. I still want to play it. Me and Mikey want to keep flying the Van Halen flag. So let's go out and do it, man. And obviously the crowds reacted to it because that tour was a huge success.
Okay, now it's my turn. We're having one of these fucking debates. Now it's my turn. So you're right about like people want to hear. I just so you know, I got most hooked on Van Halen with the 5150 shit. Although I love the early stuff. In my youth,
how old are you? How old are you? About sorry, how old are you?
I'm 55, bro. So I was You see my fucking hand in the thing. Yeah. But anyway, I'm a musician. I'm a drummer. I play. Dude, I'm connected with Lamb of God. I'm the real deal. I just don't need to expose all that shit. But I want to talk about this concert, and I'm going to tell you, John, what bothers me about it so much.
Okay.
This is what bothers me about it so much, John and Chris, is that Sammy initiated this whole thing by saying that he was upset that nobody was doing nothing for Eddie and his legacy and when he was deceased. And Eddie Trunk was promoting like no one's doing anything. They do something for the drummer for Foo Fighters. No one's doing nothing for Eddie. Sure. In my opinion, and I could be wrong, and I want to hear you out, John, I feel that Hagar, like the relationship between Hagar and Eddie and his brother Alex was diminished when he did that song for that song, Twister, because Eddie and Alex felt like, yo, this is about music. Why are you doing something for a movie? And you didn't talk about this beforehand. And the reason I bring this up, John, is because I feel like Hagar heard what was like that this could be I'm going to be straight up with you, man. A cat, like a cash cow. Like he could make a lot of money off of this. And
you're talking about doing a song for Twister?
No, doing a concert with all the Van Halen Hagar era, and I get it. Chris and Neely argue their point. Especially Neely. Neely's point is, listen, Hagar has helped write a lot of that music and stuff like that. That's not my point. My position is, come on, John, you're telling me, and I believe you. You're a fucking hardcore Hagar, a Van Halen fan. Mm-hmm. You know damn well. Yes, it's Hagar's lyrics. Yes, it's Hagar's voice, but it would not exist without Eddie Van Halen's writing. And I feel like it's disrespectful for Hagar. I feel like, and I want to hear you talk. I'm gonna stop right here, and then I'm gonna go afterwards. I want to hear you talk. I feel like Hagar is being, in my opinion, once again, an ex-wife fucking bitch, like he did with his fucking book talking about fucking Eddie, and now he's going and this is what hurts fans and me the most, that Hagar found out that Alex wanted to recruit Joe Satriani for when Alex was attempting to try to put something together, and then Hagar fucking went and got Satriani. It's, to me, it's just like, I feel like Hagar is almost like a what do you call it, like a woman that's scorned. He's like So no, I want to hear what John has to say about this, and then I'll continue. Go ahead, John. Tell me from what I said. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, the whole Satriani thing, that's true. That was what they were going to do. And here's a point against Dave. They've all but said that Dave was
why
the
Dave?
reason.
Wait, John. Why are you bringing Dave into this?
Well, because allow me to retort.
And I say that because I never talked about Dave. I never talked about Dave.
Okay. Look, dude, if you're gonna talk to like the ultimate Van Halen honk, then allow me to retort.
Go ahead.
The reason I bring up Dave, because you bring up, Alex was trying to get Joe Satriani. The reason that nothing materialized in terms of a tribute to Eddie was because Dave got in the way. Dave would not let it happen because it was all about fucking Eddie and not about him. All of them have come out and basically said, without saying his name, even Wolfgang said, I think was on Eddie Trunk, Eddie asked him, is it not happening because of a guy whose initials are three? Is it three initials? And he said, well, put two and two together. So, it was going to happen, but Dave was a twat and didn't let it happen. In terms of you saying, the music wouldn't happen without Eddie, you are 150% correct. In fact, that's an argument that Chris and I have all the time. When we went to Oshkosh for the Rock USA Festival in 2013, he's like, I left early because Dave sounded so bad. And he's always said, how the fuck do you sit through that? I'm like, dude, because I'm there to see Eddie Van Halen play guitar. Like, and that's why I love Van Halen so much, all eras, because to me, it's all about Eddie. And so, you're 100% right in saying, it's all about Eddie and shit. But to say it's a cash grab, I would go along with that if, like, let's say, I hate to bring Gary Sharon into this in this context, but
I'm glad you are. No, John, you're very briefly. I'm glad you are, because Gary is not fucking around with this shit. God bless him. I respect him more, but go ahead.
No, but if Gary was out there doing this stuff, then you could say, okay, maybe it's a cash grab. But Sammy Hagar's got like $300 million, 500. The guy's damn near a billionaire. It's not a cash grab. He doesn't need the fucking money. He could literally do the tour for free. So it's not a cash grab. He loves playing the Van Halen stuff. And again, as a fan, I read everything. I every article, every this, every that. I've met Sammy. I've interviewed Sammy. Dude, the guy wants to fucking play the fucking Van Halen material, and we want to hear it. I mean, if people didn't want to hear it or see that show, it would never have come up, and they would not be able to play 20,000 seat places, dude.
John, how do you feel about Alex and Wolfgang not even appearing physically to one of these shows? What do you feel about that?
That's their choice.
Why do you think they're not going?
Dude, okay, first of all, with Wolfgang, he's doing his own thing. And he has, this is so easy. You're throwing up softballs here. Dude, Wolfgang has said he doesn't want to, ride his dad's coattails. He did the couple songs at the 2 Taylor Hawkins shows. It was like, dude, now I got closure. Fuck yeah. I'm not going to play Van Halen songs at my fucking shows. I want to do it on my own. And Alex, it's so obvious, dude. And for me, it's even more crystal clear because my younger brother, AJ, and my older brother, DA, dude, they are my best friends. If I was in a band with them and like, one of them passed, I'd be like, I'm not doing this anymore. That's my thing. And Alex never wanted to play with anybody but Eddie. So when Eddie passed, he's like, I'm not playing anymore.
But John, if you were that close and you are that close to your family and to your brothers, if someone wrote a book bashing your brother who had an addiction problem, an illness, you would not fucking support that, John.
So we're talking about Sammy's book. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's a difficult one. Sammy was pretty brutal in that book.
He was brutal,
but it's also the truth, and I think
No, well, okay. So you talk for a while. Let me go, and then I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
As far as being brutal and all this stuff, there's this weird. It's almost like the code blue for cops. With musicians, there's this dirt and shit that goes on the road, and with musicians that you just don't fucking put in a book. If you put in a book or you talk about it, in my opinion, you're a fucking bitch. And he went and put that shit in a book, and in my opinion, he was hurt that he felt very strongly about this chapter in his career with Van Halen and everything. And the career they had at first. The 1984, ironically, never reached number one because of Thriller, but 5150 did reach number one. So Hagar was part of something extremely special, and he was very relevant and a very important part of that. But he wrote the book, and then for him, it's almost like, in my opinion, it's almost like adding insult to injury for the fans of just Van Halen as an entity, as a group, as this fucking, now when you bring up Roth and Sharon, if you look at Alex Van Halen, nobody has seen his book. The rumor is he hasn't even brought up Sammy in the book. I wouldn't be surprised if he superficially brings it up because he's such a class act that rather than say fuck you, he just will go further and just say, you know what, I'm not even gonna fucking acknowledge you, bro. Do your tour. I'm not even gonna talk about you in the book because you want me to talk about you. I thought it was really nasty what Eddie said this week, actually, about Alex.
Eddie.
With Eddie, did this tour. I think it's he's going.
Sammy.
Yeah, because Chris and Neely, they actually don't do that, and Eddie does. Where Eddie has this thing where, and he has his show is successful, but Eddie, in my opinion, he flirts with boundaries. He does this with Motley Crue. He interviews Mick Mars, which Chris also did. But then after Eddie Trunk interviews Mick Mars and plays music, then he keeps getting communications with Nikki Sixx, talks about it, and then when all these callers, when he asked for what are the best records from I think 2023, and so many people said Mick Mars' solo album, a full album, by the way, not an EP or a one song thing and a Beastie Boy song, a full album. So many people called in and said Mick Mars, and Eddie still kind of downplayed and said, "Oh, expecting it to be blues." Dude, you could argue people were expecting Motley Crue to be more fucking shout at the devil, fast for love. But he's always sort of, so my thing with the Japan thing, he's bashing Alex. I think Alex and Eddie are very family oriented. I think that's why the love he had with Valerie was very authentic. It's very a family. She comes from a very Italian family oriented family thing, and I think I love that they didn't do a big to do. But let's go back. I want to hear what you have to say. I'm gonna stop. I want to hear, but I want to say one thing about the Raw thing you said. If you watch the image that Alex put, he's sort of doing these teasers. So he put an image of his mother and father, this and that, and then he put him, Eddie, and fucking Roth, and Mikey is sort of with the behind his head. He's basically saying these are my posse, these are the real deal. Because Alex and Roth. Even if you listen to the Joe Rogan shit, yeah, listen, everybody knows, Roth included, that he's fucking nuts. Okay, but they still have a relationship, and that nutty shit is what made Van Halen so successful. So I think Alex still respects the fact that Roth, as bad as Roth is, come on, John, Roth never has bad mouthed Eddie and the drinking and all this. Eddie had a fucking he had an illness, bro. He was fucking alcoholic, and he was a brilliant genius. Unfortunately, that comes with it sometimes. And Sammy Hagar's selling Cabo Wabo, and he's having a couple of sips. He never gets drunk. Hopefully all three of us will get drunk tonight. Sammy does not get drunk. He has a couple sips. John, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Hold on. I'm going to step in for one or two quick points, and I'm not getting involved in this whole mess. But I will say this. I'm going back to where you said about the book.
Yeah.
Only to say that expecting musicians to have integrity is a big fucking miss. These guys don't. They will do anything to get attention. They're all attention whores, including Sammy Hagar. I'll be the first one to say Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
If there's anything Sammy Hagar loves, it's attention.
Yeah.
He needs that more than money, and saying shit about Eddie is the quickest way he can get it. So the book thing, I'm not surprised by it at all. And, anybody that was surprised by it should really re-examine, because he wrote the diss track Little White Lies beforehand.
Yeah.
10 years before that. So he was already using his music to say it, and then he went on to another, he took it further. So I'm not necessarily put off by it personally, because I don't expect better from these guys. So that's all I want to say. Now you go, John.
No, yeah. I understand why people think him airing the dirty laundry is a bitch move. I understand it. I get it. But I think even with that time period, if you saw that tour, I was very lucky that the show that I was at maybe I was just wearing, Frankenstein colored glasses.
What show were you at, John? What
for the dude, like I said, I haven't missed a Van Halen tour since 1995. I was front row in front of Eddie for the 2004 tour where he was a fucking disaster.
Right.
And even if Sammy hadn't put it in his book, it was widely publicized that he was a fucking disaster. I mean, so all Sammy was doing was filling in the blanks, man.
But John, what do you mean by a disaster, John? All three of us, you, me, Chris, aren't we into fucking metal and fucking rock? Because fuck the word disaster. Don't we want rock and roll? Don't we love Motley Crue most when they're fucked up? When Nikki Sixx is a fucking on-stage high,
Akin,
isn't that why we love music,
pull up a picture of Eddie when he was fucked up. It's easy to find.
With the fucking samurai fucking ponytail.
Exactly. Samurai hair. Dude, Akin, there's a side-by-side. Pull that. Dude, come on, man. If you're a Van Halen fan, you know that Eddie was fucking 1 foot in the grave. That guy was so coked out and wined out and everything. He was fucking absolutely a disaster. And his playing was shit at a lot of those shows. Again, I got lucky. The show I was at, he sounded fine. And dude, I get it. People think it's a bitch move for Sammy to put it in his book and everything, but it's not a cash grab. He was only telling the truth. And I mean, what do you want from a book? I mean, here's the thing. Like, people always complain about that, but when these guys write their biographies and shit, do you just want to see like I'll use a perfect example. Like, I'm gonna use a wrestling analogy.
You wouldn't do it, John. So, you wouldn't write trash about Chris, John. You would.
No, I would.
Hold on. Now that. We spent the first hour of the show telling shit stories about each other.
That's fun stories. That's not trash, bro. That was beautiful, fun stories.
But we could tell trash stories.
Okay,
too,
but dude, Barden, and Akin will agree with me on this. If we need to get down and dirty and talk about actual shit, we would do it. We would fucking do it, because I mean that's reality. You can't deny that it's not real. Like, yeah, Chris and I have those fucking drinking stories, but we also have drinking stories where Akin fucking choke slammed me because I was a cunt. Were we having fun? Yeah. But he fucking damn near killed me because I was an asshole. These things happen. These things are reality. Just because someone calls it out doesn't mean they're not true.
So they're not fucking true. John, you win all of this. You win right here. You won, okay? Let me ask you this, though, John. Let me ask you this.
Find one where he's not playing.
Sammy goes on tour right now. Sammy goes on tour right now, John, and he went on Eddie Trunk and Howard Stern, right, talking about this was the whole thing about, and initially, if you listen to the fucking shit he was saying, initially, oh, come on, stop, man, he's still jumping, man, come on, man. All of us can get trash nights. We could do that jump. Come on, man, don't put that picture up. Anyway, listen, John, so Sammy Hagar said that he wanted to do this whole tribute to Eddie. John, am I right about that? Didn't he say that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me ask you this, and this is very short, and I want to hear what you have to say. The show, and I've watched it in full 3 times. I will not pay money to see it because it hurts me. I will watch it online. And when I watch it online, there's nothing of Eddie. Yeah, they put the guitar Frankenstein shit when they do the little 3-song medley, what they call it, a medley, right? At the end, by the way. Yep. But when they open up, it's a bunch of Sammy Hagar, the microphone stands RR, Red Rocker. How can you argue? How can you stand by Sammy? Chris said it best, where these motherfuckers are all out for themselves. But like, how can you argue that Sammy it was never about a tribute to Eddie? It was about a tribute to Sammy Hagar, who's 77. He's about to, as I said in the past, kick the bucket. He's about to fucking die. And he's doing this last, like, as Eddie Trunk put it, he's about to put a button on his career. John, how do you defend that, John?
It's easy to defend because Sammy's been out there doing his own shit for years. He could easily go and do a Sammy solo tour. The thing you're forgetting is Sammy doesn't need the money. He's doing this shit because he wants to.
He has a family.
He's not out there collecting a paycheck.
He doesn't need the money.
He's got $500 million in the bank. He doesn't fucking need it. I mean, Jesus Christ. The Cabo brand is fucking screaming. He's got a beer brand now. He's got Sammy's Beach Bar rum. He's got all this shit. He doesn't, dude, that guy could stop right now and he would pull in fucking $80 million in the next fucking year and a half. He doesn't need the money. He's doing it because he wants to. And people want to hear the material, dude. I mean, if you're going to sit here and bash Sammy, then I will ask you, what is David Lee Roth doing? He's doing nothing.
That's good. That's a good one.
He sounds like shit. He's a fucking pain in the ass, and no one wants to go see that crap. He did a residency in Las Vegas, and no one came to fucking see it.
It makes me sad, John.
Well, because he doesn't, dude. You want to talk about try? Exactly. He serves a shit sandwich, like we said. Sammy's out there busting his balls. He cares what it sounds like. He cares about the legacy. Dave didn't care about the legacy when he was in the fucking band. We just saw like a minute and a half of one song, and we know that the whole rest of the show was like that for fucking years. He doesn't care. And if he cared about the legacy, he would have gotten this thing together and let's do a fucking tribute to Eddie Van Halen. He didn't, because he walks around like his shit doesn't stink with his fucking dick in his hand. Oh, it's got to be about me, not about fucking, Eddie.
But
it's
John, isn't that what made him. Wait, John, isn't that what made Van Halen so fucking special to us back then? You know what made Van Halen so fucking special? You said it. Eddie Van Halen writing those fucking songs. Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen made Van Halen special.
Yes.
And they were good live at one point with Roth.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
And the band was on fucking fire with Roth because Eddie got sober and the band sounded great. But Roth is out there doing his stupid soft shoe bullshit and is fucking whipping a stick around in the air. Like, what the fuck is that? Sammy's out there going, I love you, man. He's doing all the Van Hagar shit, dude, pulling out deep cuts. Anything Roth ever plays is just a greatest hits that we've heard a million times. Hey, guys, you want to hear Jump Panama and Ain't Talking About Love and You Really Got Me? Here you go. Sammy's out there from the Sammy catalog doing shit like fucking Judgment Day and 5150. And, he did play Humans Being and all this shit that's like deep cuts. Like, Sammy gives a shit. Dave doesn't give a shit. And it's all about fucking Eddie, and Dave doesn't care, and Sammy fucking does.
But John, everything you're saying, you are correct. John, you are correct. Everything you're saying, you are correct. But, John, I feel like it could be a VCR hit on rewind, and everything you're saying is back to 1994 when he went and did Eat 'Em and Smile. Everything you could say everything you're saying back in 1985.
How?
Roth cared about Roth. Roth was a very fucking mentally ill rich guy, and he.
Barden, you're digging a bad hole here because
I'm not digging a bad hole.
Yeah, you
There's
are.
nothing to talk about Roth here. I'm not digging a bad hole. This is about Hagar disrespecting Eddie. Roth has nothing to do with this.
In 1985, Roth still cared about the show.
Yeah,
that's why he did this. No, but he cared about Van Halen. He cared about replacing Van Halen. He built his own Van Halen,
which was
with
very
Steve Vai and the
Van
Bissonette
Halen.
Boys.
And honestly, it was fucking epic.
It was great. It was great. But hold on, he cared about the show. I went to a couple of those shows, and he had the look,
epic.
He had the sound, he did the big surfboard thing, which was the big production thing.
Yes.
He cared about the show.
Yes.
When you saw Roth in 2013, which we did, and he's up on stage barking out bad versions of the songs and going, I remember this one, and here's my fucking sword. That was a guy that didn't care, and we saw it backstage. He didn't give a shit about anything else except showing up and collecting his check.
Okay, you are correct. You're correct. But back to Van Halen, and John, you agreed with me on this, and I think this is one area we both agree on in this odd debate, is that all of these parties, sort of like the common denominator is the songwriting, the artistry of Ed Van Halen. And that's what, John, that's what bothers me the most about this. What hurts me the most, and I think it's what hurts people that are pissed off about the Hagar thing. We're only, the people who are pissed off about the Hagar thing, it's not that we're so pissed off about Hagar and the book, which was a long time ago. It's about, just leave all of it. It's so fucking stained. Just leave it all alone, man. And Alex, in a way, if it's true that he doesn't talk about Sammy that much in the book,
There's
in
no
a
way,
way,
true,
bro.
by the way.
Go ahead. Say it again.
There's no way that's true. By the way, there's absolutely because
I agree with you on that.
in the press release for the book, he says this is the only true telling of what happened in the. And there's no way he's gonna.
Yeah,
anyway, but continue.
right.
Sorry, I just
No, I agree with you on that. I think he is going to talk about him.
All right, well, here, hold on. Barden, I'm going to give you a last word, then I'm going to give John a last word, because we're not going to do this till fucking 2 in the morning. I need a beer.
Yeah, of course. John, last word. John, go.
Ahead, John.
I'll let you get a last word, dude. I'll debate Van Halen all day.
Thank you for that. I want to give a last word. I want to say, Chris, you canceled me last week for saying some stupid shit about Nikki Sixx or whatever. Thank you for putting me on tonight. And I knew I came. No, I want to be straight up with you, Chris. I came on because I knew you said John was a big supporter of the Hagar thing. I wanted to make sure I was here. Got a whole giant bottle of vodka for this shit. I'm fucking sober right now. I won't be sober in a couple of hours. John, I want to say thank you. You were super fucking cool with this debate thing. I agree with you on so much of what you said, and the only thing I could say is that I still am upset that I wish Sammy Hagar would have laid off on emphasizing Van Halen and just would have done some tour that sort of decorated all of his putting a button up on his thing before he dies in the coffin, which I'll be very happy when that day comes. Go ahead, John.
Yeah,
I love John. You're a very cool guy, John. Go ahead, John.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate the debate as well, man.
Debate, man.
No, dude. I mean, for me, I love that Sammy did it. The one thing that I took away from the tour when I went was, dude, and I've interviewed Sammy a couple times and I've talked to him behind the scenes. And I mean, dude, Sammy Hagar recorded a personal voicemail for me and my wife for our wedding 10 years ago. I mean, the guy is just fucking one of the sweetest guys ever. The fact that he's out there doing the Van Hagar stuff is awesome. And, he is coming from an honest place. Again, he doesn't need the fucking money. He's like, dude, I want to play these songs. Like he said, I'm not getting any younger. Mikey's not getting any younger. People still want to hear it. He's right about that. And dude, what it did for me when I was at that show, he put so much care into the production and the sound and the performance that, dude, it felt like it did back, when the band was around and actually a functioning band as Van Hagar. Man, the vibe was there, and it was awesome to see that, kind of relive it. It was one of the very few times when you have a nostalgia trip that actually lives up to the hype. And, I know, tons of my buddies, or especially in my band, my guitar players are monstrous Van Halen guys like I am, and our bass player too. And they said the same thing. They were like, oh my God, like this is exactly what I wanted to feel. And, if you're not into it, if you're a Roth guy, I get it and everything. But I mean, look, man, he did do it for Eddie. I mean, Eddie was his best friend. They made up, shortly before Eddie, passed away.
I don't know about that, John, but keep going. I don't believe that, but keep going.
Dude, it's written down. I mean, Valerie Bertinelli said it. Wolfgang said it. It's been widely reported that happened. And it's a great show. And for people like me, I mean, I know you're not a fan of it, but I love that it happened, and I love that it happened for all other Van Halen fans that wanted to see that shit. So, good talking to you too and everything. And man, I think the one thing we take away from all of this is fucking Eddie Van Halen is fucking like the greatest motherfucker ever. So, we can always agree on that. So there you go.
Hey, John, you're a cool guy, bro. I'm glad I met you tonight on this call. Take care of yourself.
Yep. Appreciate you, Barden.
150 tape. Take care. Good night. Bye.
All right. Now beat it.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, there we go. Van Halen, Van Hagar. I think we're done with that forever and ever. We've solved the problem.
All right, so for the next hour and a half, now we're going to talk Dream Theater. God damn it! Let's. There we go.
That's funny bullshit detector. Yeah. This show has as much lift as the Skinner plane.
Hey, bullshit! I thought you were going to go watch the Hoarders marathon.
Yeah, well, go do it. People, it always cracks me up when they throw these in here, like all of a sudden I'm going to change patterns to their direction. No, I'm not. We're going to do the same old shit. Next, we're going to talk about wrestling for an hour.
There we go.
Suck a dick.
There we go. I give that guy a lot of credit for actually coming in on the show.
Yeah, that was good.
How many times you throw out the link and people are like, oh, then all of a sudden they back down when they got
they're scared of it.
Yeah, exactly. Put rubber to the road, and he didn't. He came in and started blasting. Like, all kudos to Barden, man.
Hell yeah. All right, well, let's do this. We're going to take a break. I am doing something different tonight. I am actually going to play videos quite illegally in between
Quite a
here, because we're not broadcasting on the audio portion. So
Yep.
since it's a video only show, I'm going to play a few videos. And since we talked about Van Halen, how about some live 5150 from that tour, from the 5150 tour?
Fuck yeah, dude.
That'll work. That'll get us started. We're going to play a few songs so that I can go do a little bit of processing bullshit. And then we will come back and we will do some more. So hang tight, everybody. And we'll be back in a minute right here.
On your classic metal.
Brace yourself for the wildest ride of your life. It's the craziest book Chris Akin has ever written, and other things I should not say. Get ready for over 500 pages of pure, unfiltered debauchery. From his military years, Chris Akin spills the shocking stories of sex, partying, violence, and the stuff that's so wild it's probably illegal. You've heard the tales on the Classic Metal Show, but never like this. Don't wait. Get your copy now at chrisakin.net before the censors try to shut it down.